Hey everyone! I'm Lily, who halfway through getting ready for this video was like, you know what, I'm gonna put on a dress, I'm gonna look cute for this video. And then I was like, wait, no, never mind, I'm cold. So now I'm cute and actually kind of got dressed up, but I'm also wearing a wizard cloak, so yeah. Wizard cloak. It fits any video. Really, for this channel, it fits any video. Especially this one, which I am talking again about magic, because I'm like, you know, I did a few non-magic videos. It's back for like 3 solid weeks of magic, but not really. I'm gonna actually try to have more variety, but magic. I want to talk about magic all the time. I love magic. But yeah. So today I'm going to be talking about my cube, which is currently unsleeved. I haven't sleeved it yet. Also, this is not it, like, hands are hard. This is just the multicolored cards. It's a big cube. But I'm gonna be talking about my cube. So, what is a cube? For those of you who aren't super well versed in the cube, you might have, like, if you play Magic casually, you might have heard it mentioned, like, at a game store or something. But essentially what a cube is a custom drafting environment where someone puts together a set of cards and that you then divide into packs and you run just like you would a booster draft, but it's a cube draft. And cubes can have lots of different themes. Like on Magic Online, they have like every few months they run different cubes. Some of them are like, oh, this is the modern cube. It's like a cube based around the format of modern. Other people have done like tribal cubes or like full powered cubes where you're doing things like Power 9 and tinkering out Blightsteel Colossi and things like that. But like an added space level, a cube, like at its simplest, like a cube would be like 360 cards, which is enough for 3 packs of 15 cards each to 8 people. And that's considered like to be like a normal small cube. I'm not playing, this isn't a normal cube. This is Lily's Library, the cube. I'll go into the name in a little bit, but it is a commander cube where most games of limited, most drafts, you're building a 40 card deck. In this cube, you are building a 100 card deck. So Commander Cube takes everything about Cube and combines it with Commander. Also happens to be drafting and Commander are my 2 favorite places to play Magic. So I decided to build a Commander Cube. But it varies a little bit. Some are like 60 card Commander Cubes. This is a 100 card Commander Cube, though, but there are variants that have of Commander Cube that use 60 card. But you have a commander, and you deal with the commander color identity rules, but you then play it multiplayer, just like Commander, and yeah, and you have a commander, all that, so you're just building a commander deck, but you have to draft it. So it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. If you've never played Commander Cube before, and you know, if you get the opportunity to, do it. It is so much fun. Yeah. But today I'm going to be talking about my cube, which is a Commander Cube. It's Lily's Library, a Commander Cube. I actually put together like a pretty nice like Google site with an overview and more details about the cube itself. I'll link that in the description. If you want like the fancier written version, because even though I make videos, I am the kind of person who prefers like written information. But yeah. So there's a few things I went into knowing this, where one of the primary things I want to do with this cube, and a big strength of Commander Cube, is that I want like any person who drafts this cube to leave the cube kind of like inspired to build a deck, or like think about commanders they may have not seen before, or new concept or anything, where it's like I kind of want to like spark the deck building progress elsewhere, because it's like I love brewing new decks, I love like designing new decks, but it got to the point where I had so many decks it was just a pain from a management point of view. Don't worry, I'm not gonna stop doing like new like ASMR deck techs and things like that. Those aren't going anywhere. But I did take apart most of my decks, and I'm probably not going to be building any new decks in paper anytime soon, unless like I get them. I only have 2 decks still built. That's Abzan Life Gain and 4-color humans. That said, most of my brewing will be moving over to Magic Online, but I'll still be doing deck techs and stuff because deck techs are fun and building new decks is fun. But as part of this cube, I want to kind of inspire people to check out commanders you may not have seen or played with. Like, granted, you will also see commanders that are just like staples. Like, I have like, just right here, it's like, okay, here's like Gave and Narset. Like, I mean, like, these are just staples of the format. But I also want to check out like some weirder ones. Eventually, I kind of have the goal of getting every single legendary creature in the cube. Either be it in the main cube, or a tale or poem from the Commanders of Shame, which I'll talk about tales and poems and the Commanders of Shame later. But I'm gonna try to get like every legendary creature ever printed eventually at some capacity in the cube. But yeah, although there's a few of them that just don't work, even with me bending over backward to make them work. Things like Spike Tournament Grinder just don't work. But even though I love Spike, but yeah. Ooh, maybe I could just put, no, that doesn't work. I was like, okay, I could put Spike in like the Commanders of Shame where she just doesn't do much. But at the same time, no, she does do something, because it's like, normally Commander, you don't have a sideboard, so you can't actually grab things from the sideboard. But I guess actually she wouldn't be that bad if you had to draft the card that you're bringing in from your sideboard. Maybe. Let me think about that. But, yeah. So, cube. So I want to inspire people to do more things. Like, sure, like, that's cool, but it's like, how often do you see a deck run by Tygam, Sidisi's Hand? He lets you... Oh, wait, no, that's just kind of like... He's kind of like an Underrealm Lich ability. It's like, instead of whenever you draw, just at your draw step, you get to look at the top 3 cards library, put one in your hand, and put the rest in your graveyard. That's cool. I didn't realize that was the same ability as Graveyard Lich. See, I even learn something new every day. I don't know if that's gonna read on this camera. I think the focus is off. Yeah, oh well. But it's like, I want to inspire people to build new decks and look into things and consider things. The next point that I wanted to like encourage in this cube was, I like drafting. Not drafting, but like, you've seen my decks. I like putting way too many colors into my decks, and yeah, that's a problem. But I want to encourage 3 and 4 color decks. Like this, that's where it's based around. But you might say, but Lily, there's only so many 4-color commanders, and some like the shard color pairings for 3 colors. There aren't that many for some of them. How are you going to do that? I'll talk about that later. Another thing is, like, you know me, I love the red zone. I'm not a big combo person when it comes to Commander. Like, I'm more about like, let's grind out value. Let's duke it out in the red zone. And it's kind of like, that's part of what I like about this and what I'm encouraging in it. I love tribal decks, and I will go into how I do that with Tales and Poems later. But yeah. So, I mentioned before, but there's a few rules changes that are the key gimmick to this deck. Cube words, main things. But yeah, no, I call it Lily's Library, which is the same name as the channel, because I kind of like find it like the channel itself. I call it Lily's Library because it's a collection of like things that I find interesting. Like, Lily's Library is like, it's largely like Magic and D&D, but it has a smattering of other things that are like my own casual interests. And it's just kind of like what I like put into a channel. And this is Lily's library, and that this is everything I love about Commander put into a cube. But yeah, so, also in the link in the description where I put that, the site, it will also have links to like Cube Tutor and stuff like that if you want to actually look at the lists. But okay, so a few rule changes I have for this. There's like smaller rule changes, but you can also see on that site, but there's two main ones. One is Planeswalkers can be your commander. Like, I'm taking that from Brawl, but, you know, it's like if you want Vraska the Unseen to be your commander, that makes sense. Like, you can have her. But the second thing is to enable 3 and 4 color decks. I'm treating this cube considers all 1 and 2 color identity commanders as if they had partner. So if you don't know, partner is an ability that came out in Commander 2016, which was the 4 color one, and people were talking about like, how are they going to do a 4 color set? Because it's like, sure, you can print 4 color commanders, but like, those are very specific, like, but what they did was partner, where it's, you can have 2 commanders if both of those commanders have partner. That said, there's only 15 available partner commanders, so that's not that many. But this just like, I like this a lot because it opens up so many like cool deck ideas and cool synergies. Like commanders that were fringe playable, like all of a sudden get a lot more utility and mileage with having partner, like things like Valduk, Keeper of the Flame, the Dominaria red thing that like, for every ore and equipment on him, he made like 3/1 elementals, but you're like, it's mono red, it's not really the best equipment guy, but it's like you could partner him with like a white commander or like a Celestia commander and like give yourself a bit more range and kind of like make him take a bit more. And other things like that, where it just like, you know, it's like, you know what, if you want to have like, if you want to write some fan fiction and just do like your nice like Amara Vraska ships, you can do that. And that's kind of one thing I want to do. And it also just gives a lot more flexibility with how the draft works, because I think the main way that commander cubes work is that you draft your deck and then you choose your commander afterwards from like a library of commanders. I didn't really like that because on one hand I wanted it to be singleton, but at the same time it's if the commanders are all outside of it, you can't draft with them, so not any legendaries won't really be part of your 99 unless I make it not available as a commander in the commander library. So in this one, you do have to draft your commander. And so it's one of those things where it's like, you do have to like prioritize. Like I've done a few test drafts of this, but okay, I've done a lot of test drafts of this, at least digital ones. But you do have to like prioritize getting your commander colors and things like that. But the partner ability, having all 1 and 2 color commanders having partner gives you a lot more flexibility. And really, if that didn't happen, drafting commanders just wouldn't work because you just couldn't reliably rely on getting the exact colors you wanted. But like I said, like with that, like 3 and 4 colors are the focus of this cube. 2 colors possible, and 1 color is very hard, but technically doable, but not advised. I mean, why would you? Like, there's no reason to really. But yeah. So, but this is how the draft works. To begin, so you start out, you have 4 players. This is built around 4 players. As the cube grows a bit more, I'll might expand it and be able to like, you can also draft it with 8, but it is kind of built around like, okay, you're sitting down with like 3 friends, which is often easier than getting like a full pot of 8 for like a normal cube draft. And then you'd play with those 4 people. But you all get 7 packs of 15 cards each. And I'm still tweaking some of those numbers. Like I might bump it up to 8 if I find like people aren't consistently getting enough playables. But I don't want it to be too much. But you draft 7 packs, and then it just runs like a normal draft. There are some cards that affect the draft, like some conspiracy cards, but those run just as printed. After that, you get the lands draft. So the lands draft is, I actually have the lands draft right here. I actually have this one sleeved already. I actually had enough sleeves for this, but I just haven't picked up the sleeves for the rest of the cube. But the lands draft. So you get 2 packs of this. 2 packs of 15, I should say. Or I might tweak it. I don't know. The actual like pack numbers and everything is still up to tweaking. Like this is still in a very early developmental stage of the cube. And for something as kind of like experimental as this cube is, it'll need some tweaking. But you get 2 packs of the lands draft, which goes around like normal draft to just do your fixing. Utility lands are in the main part of the land, so if a land doesn't fix your mana, it isn't there. That said, like the lands draft is filled with like shocks and fetches and like man lands and tri lands and evolving wild effects and things like that. So anything that helps fix your mana is in the lands draft. So it's all about kind of just getting yourself better mana. I avoid using proxies in the main cube just because, I don't know, I don't think they look as good and I want the cube to look nice. I do use proxies in land draft because I'm not made of money and like just to critical mass, I want to have fetches in there and I don't own a full set of fetches. I want dual lands, but I'm not made of money. I can't afford dual, so I printed out some cheap proxies. So those work for now. And eventually I'll fill out the rest, like them, so they won't all be proxied, but I doubt that I'll ever get to like full dual lands. But then you have that, and then you put together your decks. And then you might say, oh Lily, I did the draft, I didn't get my commanders, what do I do? Can I just not play now? No, you don't. I mentioned it before and I realized I forgot to grab it, so I'll be right back. Okay, so if you don't get the commanders you want, so it's like, say like you were building your deck, you really wanted to build an Abzan deck, but you didn't get there, like the only commander that you really have in those colors, which shouldn't happen, like I'm trying to make like the deck have like the cube have a critical mass of legendary creatures that it won't be a problem. There's still lots of legendary creatures I need to get for the cube, but it shouldn't be a problem to get the legendary creatures. But like, you know, I only have Tristani, like, but I kind of built the deck to be Abzan and I really want the deck to be Abzan. That's when the Commanders of Shame come in. These are the commanders that are just really bad, and you really never want to play as your commander. But after the draft, you can choose, I mean, technically up to 2 of these if you want, to be your commander. Again, you don't want these at all, ever, but if you need to do it just to meet the color requirements, you can. But it's like, okay, so like, okay, for Abzan, okay, I have Tristani, Discordant, but I'm gonna fill it out with Gallo Braid. For those who don't know, Gallo Braid is a 3/black for a 5/5 with trample, but, okay, so, I mean, that's value. It's a 5/5 for 5 with trample? That's amazing. Oh, but wait, there's more. It has a cumulative upkeep of 1 life. That's right, to get your amazing show-stopping 5/5 for 5 with trample, you also have to pay cumulative upkeep 1 life. First turn, 1 life. Next turn, 2 life. Next turn, 3 life. It's a surefire way that your opponents won't want to wipe the board because you're killing yourself with your own Gallo Braid, who's your own commander. Ooh, but that 5/5 will get those commander damage real fast in 5 attacks. But yeah, you don't want these at all. Like, how do you feel about Ishi Aki Crackshot? He's a 2-mana 1/1 goblin that deals 2 damage to any opponent who casts a spirit or arcane spell. Oh, that value, punishing them for using those Kodamas reaches, you better believe it. They're not gonna think twice. Or what about, Oh, you just need to fill out in Gap Azorius colors? How about Tobias Androin? He's 3 white blue for a 4/4 with flavor text. Oh, Legends Commanders, you're the best, and will make great Commanders of Shame. But yeah, so this is the kind of thing that are in the Commanders of Shame. Yeah, they're not good. You don't want these, but they're there if you happen to not do it. So it's kind of like the failsafe. It also lets me, let me put in, say that the cube contains most legendary creatures without having to say, put in, I don't know, what's another bad one that shouldn't be played ever as Commander? Yeah, no. It's like, you know what, it's like a tog. You're cool, but Commander Cube is not the place for you. A tribal, not really the thing that you want to be drafted. What is it? Kintaro, the Smiling Cat, who lets you pay X, lets you circumnavigate to the color requirements of samurai spells. Yeah, no, I don't want those to be in the cube. So yeah. So that's how the draft works. And for the most part, that's how it is. But there's more. And that's where I mentioned, like, I really like tribal decks. And tribal decks, I like playing them because it's like, I don't know, they're thematic. It scratches that Vorthos itch of, like, I want to have a bunch of, like, the Innistradi vampires and led by Edgar Markov and all that. But here's the thing, like, this is a cube. This is a big cube. Like, it's still growing. I want to get to the point where I'm about 200 cards of each color, not counting commanders. And, like, I don't know. I haven't figured the exact amount. But I'm not, like, making cuts yet, really. But I want to get to that point. So it's, like, it's a big cube. I wanted to have it to reflect Commander. Like, there needs to be, in my mind, there needs to be lots of variety and lots of variance from game to game. Granted, you're also drafting 7 packs, so you need a lot of cards, but, yeah. But it's like, but within that, like, you just can't consistently draft, like, a good elf deck or a good, vampire deck, because you just won't get the pieces, and if you don't have those pieces, like, anything that is, like, specifically, like, a tribal card, you would never want to take, so tribal is one of those archetypes in Commander that just often is not present in Commander Cube, and I wanted to not do that. Enter Tales and Poems. So, in a pack, you might find a card that looks like this. One day, I'll get that right. And this is a tale. This one you see is the Tale of Flame and Rage. This is essentially, they used to be called offerings, but then I decided to make it more thematic for Lily's library. But it is a selection of cards that you can choose. So if you were to choose the Tale of Flame of Rage and you were to take this tale, tales are larger, poems are usually smaller packets of cards, you would get this packet of cards. It's usually, it's up to 20 cards that you'll get. And this all has dragon tribal cards. Like, this will get you, like, a couple dragon commanders. It'll give you both Scion the Ur-Dragon and Scion the Ur-Dragon. As you could tell, like, any commanders are listed in kind of a cheeky way on the offering card itself. But it will give you things like Odrutai, Soul of Winter, and some of the other, like, Dragon Lords, and Scourge of Elcast, and Dragon Tempest, and Crucible of Fire, and some other, like, dragon tribal cards. Where, like, it'll give you kind of, like, the nice base of a dragon deck. Where it's like, yeah, you won't be all in, like, a proper constructed dragon deck. But also any tribes I have, I've made sure to have, like, there's still lots of dragons in the main cube, so you'll be able to pick up more dragons to make the rest of the dragon deck work. And so if you draft this, you get this selection of cards. At which point you may say, but Lily, isn't that super OP? You get like 20 synergistic cards, or up to 20 synergistic cards for just one draft pick. that's where the checkout fee comes in. So on the tail and offering, there is a checkout fee. On this one for the Tale of Flame and Rage, or the checkout fee is full. Otherwise, there'll be a number. If it's a number where there's like some poems are smaller packets of cards. They're usually like 2 to 4 cards. One example of this is like packages of like the Petal Bond partner commanders. So Krav and Regna would be a poem, and that cost would be 1. Where it's the checkout fee, where it's like, okay, so you would draft this, you would draft it face up and say like, you know, I'm taking the poem of Krav and Regna. You would do that, and then you would skip a number of picks equal to the number. So for just one, for this one, like the checkout fee is 1, for the next pack, you just take a card at random out of the pack, you set it aside, it's out of the queue draft, and you don't get it. You take the cards out just to make sure the counts stay the same and weirdness doesn't happen there, but it isn't part of your pool. So it's like, for Krav and Regna, you know what, that makes sense. You're getting 2 cards, so you obviously have to draft 2 cards, but make sure you get both of them. Like Tale of Flame and Rage, where it says the checkout fee is full, means you must skip the rest of the current pack. Like, if you want dragons, you gotta go all in. Like, this is a powerful, like, set of things. You lose an entire pack. So, sure, you get the synergistic package cards, but you might lose out on other things your deck needs, like the ability to pick up, like, ramp and removal and board wipes and other things you need. So it's like that payoff. Granted, also, like, the checkout fee lets me kind of, like, adjust the power level of them. So that'll be a thing. So there's tribal packages. Some of them are also, that I've done is like packages of like past decks I had. Like, I loved my Shu Yun deck. So the Shu Yun deck has its own tail, where this one will give you Shu Yun, Zada, Heatran Grinder, and a bunch of other kind of like combat trick focused like cards, and puts in the package, because Shu Yun's one of those commanders where it's like, he is really cool, but a lot of the cards that Shu Yun is good with, like these weird combat tricks, like like Brute Strength or Invigorated Rampage, just aren't good in Commander, and you'd never want to pick them up or even include them in the cube. This lets me kind of like package them outside of the cube, and these weird combat tricks that you'd want in a Shu Yun deck is packaged with Shu Yun. So it lets you still build that Shu Yun deck, and in some ways also lets my Shu Yun deck kind of like live on in this deck, so I like that. But yeah, no, that's Tales and Poems, and I'm planning on adding new ones. Like, I want to eventually have like a tale and poem for like every tribe that has received any sort of tribal support and things like that. It's like the tribal ones, like, it may not give you enough, like, apart from a few like really major tribes like humans or dragons, it may not give you like enough like stuff to go full in tribal that. But you might have like just like a deck that has like, okay, I have a deck, and you know what, I have like a nice like merfolk package, but like I am playing like generally like just like a Simic like value grindy deck, but with a merfolk sub theme. And that's kind of like what this will give, where it's like, you still may not be all in tribal, but it'll give you a little bit of flavor for when you want that. There are a few conspiracies I haven't printed out yet that aren't real conspiracies. There are some also just printed conspiracies, but these conspiracies are essentially mostly to enable supplemental products and game modes, because you know what, it's not Commander if you're not doing wacky weird things, and what's wacky or weird than like adding in Plane Chase? So there's like a conspiracy that says at the beginning of your game, you may choose if the game uses the Plane Chase expansion. And as a benefit to that, it's like once during the game you can roll, like when you roll the planar die, you get to put it on the side of your choice. So you get to make the decision and get some in-game benefit. There's one for choosing that says at the beginning of the game, you may choose to become the archenemy, at which point you get your archenemy deck, everyone else is on a team, and you play like that. There's one that's set course for the Golden City, where you play with the Explorers of Ixalan variant, which is a lot of fun. And those are just kind of like new conspiracies I added just to like add in that flavor of some of those like fun variants that won't come up every single draft it plays, but I love them nonetheless. So, but yeah, no, that's pretty much like the good overview of like what my cube is doing and like how I'm playing it and kind of the things that I have going on there. But like I said, there's a lot more information in the description as well as the full list and everything. But it's definitely one of those things that's still growing, where it's I want to get it out there. I also want to like actually like sleeve it properly so I can actually play it. But it's like with like I've done some like chess drafts with like just like on Cube Tutor and whatnot, and played with some friends on Cockatrice and doing that sort of testing, and it was a blast. I actually kind of forced myself to be like, okay, can I make monocolor work? Not really. I played mono black Yargle, which was not good, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and it's one of those things where it's like this really brings you back to kind of that like some people like it's a common saying that like Cube is the purest form of Magic, and you know, the Commander Cube is kind of like the purest form of multiplayer Magic, and it's been so much fun. It has so much variety and experiences, and everyone gets to come to the table on like kind of the same playing field. And it's one of those things that's just really cool, and I can't wait to play it with more people. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things where I like brewing, I like designing, but the logistics of keeping track of all my commander decks was just getting out of hand because it's up to 13, and I know compared to some people that's like not that many, but it was just like, you know, I also just like don't have like the money to invest in buying like getting like a soul ring for all of my decks, because that adds up after a while and things like that, where this means I just only ever need one copy of a card. Okay, maybe a few if it is also in my other deck. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the process of kind of like designing this cube and getting everything together and doing kind of like the neat challenges of like making everything tick and kind of getting the feel I want for the gameplay. But yeah, so let me know what you think. Like, what do you think about like some of the things I've done with the cube and things like that? Let me know if there's like, I have a huge wish list of stuff that I'm like slowly picking up. I mostly like every week when I like go to like draft for not Sunday night, but not Friday Night Magic, because they draft on Sundays at Mox. But every Sunday, like I go and like I pick up like, you know, I'll pick up another like 15 commanders, like from like all the commanders like under $1, and slowly like getting that up and kind of slowly expanding the cube over time. But yeah, no. Also, any suggestions for like non-tribal like tales is good. Like good like tight synergistic theming things, and poems and stuff. Like I want to have a poem that's like, you know what, this poem you just get all 3 pieces of Cauldra. Like that's that poem and things like that. The Cauldra is actually strangely expensive in paper, so that's fun. Yeah, so that's been this video. I don't have that much else to say without going like too deep into specifics about like design choice and stuff like that. I might do a stream where it's just me sitting here and like kind of more talking about specific card choices while I sleeve the entire thing. But I'd be sure to like let people know if that happens, and I'd probably record that too. But yeah, well, I hope you all enjoy this video. I hope you all have a wonderful night's sleep, and may your stories smile upon you.